Yo, yo, yo. What up, my peoples? What's going on? Happy Thursday. Okay, well, we get to try this whole day one of Unicorn Overlord again. So hopefully no more interruptions. I swear, it feels like the universe is against us in playing this game, from the issues with getting the game because Amazon took forever and delaying getting the order to me, and then finally getting it, and then trying to play it the first day on Tuesday, and then my as soon as like the we finish our news segment, we start up the game, we start playing the game, and then area-wide outage for my ISP. I don't know, dude, and like, it's not like my ISP is pretty good. I don't normally have issues with my ISP, and it sucked, dude. I don't know what to say, sucky. So hopefully today, no more hitches, and we can get into this gameplay and have some fun, because we're losing time before Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out. So I really need to get gameplay going on this bad boy, man. I've been anticipating this game for a long time, and I'm really excited about it, and I want to play the game. So gamer gods, please let us play this game. Yeah, I saw that, Tim Win. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Are they fixing the issues with resource usage out of your storage? Are they fixing that? Are they implementing that? They have to put that in that game, dude. They need that in that game so bad. Yeah, I saw that. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. How you doing, man? Good day. Happy Thursday, buddy. Dude, those types of games they get so trudgy, and they're not the only one. That was the most recent game I played was, what was it? The flipping Nightingale was the same way. Yeah. Part of the game fantasy to organize and use chests. Well, it's not like you don't still use chests. You would still have to use chests. You would still have to use chests for resources. Look, man, I've had that argument from people a lot too. Well, if it's, maybe it's something the developers wanted to do to incorporate a more realistic, implementation of needing to, manage resources, because in real life you wouldn't be able to do that kind of thing. Okay, but most of the games we're talking about in a game setting are fantasy, right? They're fantasy settings. They're not realistic sim things, and so for me, most often when it comes down to that kind of notion coming from developers, it seems more like an excuse to get away with not implementing something, and it comes off as being lazy to me, is what it does. And I'm sorry, but from a game player's point of view, the more you're in a game and the more you're having to deal with that kind of stuff, the more just monotonous, wasted time you're spending dealing with resource management and not playing the game. And that sucks. It's just wasted time. It's just wasted time, especially in games that are very resource heavy, like V Rising is. So, the developers can say that all they want, but especially V Rising, that's a very fantasy, kind of, sci-fi realm of a game setting, and for them, where there's magic and things like that. You know what I mean? So to try and to organize and use chests, you would still have to use chests to put things in. There's still tons of resources that you would need to put into chests, but to be able to utilize it out of the chests without having to go back to them all the time. I don't know. That seems like kind of a cop-out to me. I'm sorry. It does. So, I don't know. Yeah. But I appreciate you shooting that information my way. It's, it's a good game, Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll pull it up and see if we can appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see what they say about it. Yeah, it is a long interview. We'll see what they say, and I'll give my feedback on it. But I'm pretty steadfast on that notion. It's kind of the same thing. Look, man, I'll attribute it to like the same thing as like you also have to know who you're catering to in a video gaming industry, right? I understand that these are works of art. These are something that you have a vision that you're trying to bring to the table for people. You also have to know who you're catering to as well. You're catering to video game players. And if you're bringing forth an experience of gameplay where like I said, with the whole resource management thing, you waste so much time over the entirety of your game playthrough where you're just wasting time spending on resource management. That sucks for gamers, dude. We don't want to be doing that kind of stuff. Or take, for instance, like even one of the more recent examples of I feel like, and this is going way beyond resource management, but still, exactly, dude. Tinwin, I say that all the time. Give people the option. That's the best thing developers can do. Give people the option. Same thing I was saying about Palworld, dude. Palworld was incredibly molding with the fact that anything that you had to do in that game to like craft or build or whatever, you had to hold down a button the entire time. You had to hold down F, dude. And I was like, this is stupid. You shouldn't have to do this. And at first, Pinky was like, oh, I don't see it as being a big deal. But the further you get in that game, the longer you're having to do it, the more you're having to do it, it gets really, really burdensome, man. And eventually, what did they do? One of their first big updates, they implemented it to where it was an option for players. You had the option to either leave it the way it was naturally or to just hit F and your character would build and you could let go. And that's the way it should be. Give players the option, man. Give players the option. I agree with you 100%, dog. 100%. Options are the best thing. But, one of the things I was going to say is I'll attribute it to almost, and it's not quite the same thing, but almost the same thing is like what Bethesda did with Starfield. You have to understand who you're catering to. I understand what their vision was with that game, right? Their vision with that game was trying to create something more realistic in what we know about the universe and space and what space exploration would be and how many of the planets would be barren, without any kind of life and stuff. But when it comes down to it, most people didn't like that because it was boring. They were wasting time exploring planets that didn't have anything on them. You have to understand your audience. You have to understand who you're catering to as a video game developer. Your vision of what you want your product to be isn't always going to align with the best thing potentially for your consumers either, right? So I think there's something to be said for understanding who you're catering to in the industry also. Why are you wearing a beanie this time? I'm not. It's a flippin' hat. Open your eyes, soup. It's got a flippin' bill on it, dog. Look. Boop. But yeah, Tim, and I appreciate it, buddy. And thanks for pushing me that info. It's just so molding to me, dude, when I get into games like that where it's like you just... Because, you're still having to deal with... You've got to go gather resources. You've got to always have them in your inventory. You've got to, take them back. You've got to put the resources in their dedicated spots where they're going to be and stuff. So it's not like in V-Rising, you're never going to have to be dealing with resources if you can auto-use them out of your storage in your, castle area or whatever. It just makes it more intuitive and seamless for crafting. So I don't know. I don't agree with that notion necessarily or what they're saying there. But I'll watch it and we'll see. Let me pull up this message from you as well. Actually, what I might do is just I'll pull up their Steam site is what I'll do. I'll pull up their Steam site because that links just to their official. Is this the official release date? Well, that'll work too. That'll work too. What up, Soup? In here causing inciting violence already this morning. Happy Thursday, buddy. Yeah, we'll watch this as well. That's cool. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. We'll watch that also. When PlayStation? Probably when they quit making them paperweights and actually, you know, make them into good gaming devices. Something like that, dude. What's this? I agree, and I mean, I've said that the whole time, Tim. When I've said that I really enjoyed V. Why did this start automatically? What is this crap, dude? I don't have auto start on. That was weird. All right. Autoplay is not on. That was weird. V Rising is a fantastic game, but I'll say this: one of the reasons that I quit playing it when I quit playing it, I got really tired of dealing with the resource management. That was one of the main reasons I quit playing that game when I quit playing it. And True felt the same way too. You know, it just got tiresome. It got cumbersome dealing with so many resources, always having to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's a banger of a game, dude. It's really good. I said that whenever I got to a point when I was finished playing it too. The game's really good. It is. But man, any survival base building kind of game where it's very resource intensive, resource heavy, man, it's a struggle, dude. It's a struggle to want to continue to play a game where you're wasting so much time dealing with resource management where you could be spending enjoying the actual gameplay elements. You know, for me, that's not part of it. It's not there. You know. And it really, really got to where I just couldn't enjoy the game anymore because there was just too much of it. Power World 2 in the making. We don't need Power World 2 because we have Power World 1. And they're doing it the right way as opposed to Pokemon where they release Pokemon games every single year. You know? Preload on Xbox for Dragon's Dogma 2 is live. Yeah, that's not a surprise. And it's small. Under 70 gigs. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about this. Yo, thanks, Soup. Appreciate it. COD is better than Pokemon. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, it's not. But, I mean, you're welcome to your opinion. Here, let's pull this up. Sorry. So, this is what we have so far. You know, we're going to just pull up all of our own articles. We got this stuff from Tinwin. We got the official release date of V Rising. Thank you, Tinwin. I appreciate it, my friend. And then we've got an interview here about my big issue with what V Rising and what we've been talking about is resource management. And what I always have an issue with all these resource heavy games is not being able to auto utilize resources out of your stashes or your containers or whatever, you know what I mean? Out of your inventories that you have built for your own home or your base or your castle or whatever. V Rising, that's a huge issue as far as I'm concerned. And it was the same thing that I just played another game where there was the same issue, and it was one of the most glaring issues quality of life wise for me in Nightingale as well. Very resource heavy game. It was so maulding having to deal with the resource management constantly. You know, it just gets really, really trudgy having to deal with that stuff. So we'll talk about that. Then we've got the Dragon's Dogma 2 stuff preloading for Xbox already that Soup just gave me. And we'll see what else we can find. Cool, guys? We probably got a lot of news to cover since I was away for, yesterday was the day off. And we'll try to cover everything from the past 2 days and see what we can find, okay? And, yo, by the way, Soup, I like beanies, dude. I've got a bunch of beanies actually, dude. I just don't wear them that often. I'll wear them every once in a while. COD better than Pokemon? No. Nah. I would disagree. Agree to disagree. You know? Call of Dookie is not better than really much out there. Big old box of Dookie. By the way, you guys are growing those mustaches, right? You're growing those mustaches? We're not shaving those bad boys, are we? We got half the month left before we start looking at who's gonna win Mustache March here in the community. Google AI learns to play open world video games. Jesus. Doom developers launch indie AAA game studio with dystopian sci-fi something. We'll see what this is. Let's read this. Google's new AI will play video games with you, but not to win. Tencent has taken over 2 of the ByteDance video game teams. That's interesting. Huh. Soup in here inciting violence already, dude. The radical wokeness of the video game industry, bros.
Ring me on my phone, but there's nobody here. Find me right at home, playing Gran Turismo. If you ask what I do, I'll tell you it's none of your business. And if you got a problem, I will knock you in the fizzer. Now meet me at the club, cause everyone going. Fresh meat at the club, and the drinks they be flowing. Gold chains, the ice be showing. If you ain't got a milli, you best be going. Meet me at the
Yeah, we knew this was happening. I'm not going to dive into this. For those of you that don't know, okay? Basically, what happened with Blizzard was before Blizzard got bought by Microsoft, they got into this debacle where, you know, Blizzard has a huge market. They've got a huge market in China. And it was always NetEase that had published their games in China forever, ever. And China's a weird part of the industry where you need basically Chinese-based companies to get you in, if you will. You need Chinese-based companies to publish your games there if you're not already a Chinese-based company. And as well as there are a lot of other restrictions and things that have ramped up over the past 3 to 4 years over there too. We've talked a lot about that. But basically what happened was Blizzard and NetEase's contract was coming up. Blizzard basically metaphorically slapped NetEase in the face and said, we're not willing to pay the contract that you guys want anymore, even though you've been super lucrative for us and giving us publishing in China for virtually the past, probably I think it was like 20 to 30 years, right? I don't remember exactly when it kicked off, but you know, and then they were like, can you guys just give us an extension until we find somebody else to publish? You know, and NetEase was like, no. What? You don't want to pay us what we're worth. Get wrecked. Go find somebody else. You know? And so what happened was Blizzard games were not able to be published in China anymore. And this has put Blizzard in a very bad spot because not only it's not even just as simple as finding another company to publish. You have to go back through the entire initial process of, you know, getting lots of permits and you know, going through their entire process of getting approved by the government to have your games published there. And there's a whole flipping crazy process that goes on for this. And Well, funny enough, I think what has basically come to light is that they're going to be renewing their partnership with NetEase. Is well, the last thing we heard. So it looks like they are in fact getting back into bed with NetEase. When that's probably what they should have just done in the first place. And now what they've done is just put themselves in a bad spot. They haven't been able to publish their games in China for roughly the past year, I think. And it's not been good for them. It's been pretty bad for them, actually. And they should have just done it in the first place, you know? But I think it's really what Microsoft took back over and was like, yeah, let's get back in with NetEase. I think it was Microsoft that did that. So it's probably Bobby Kotick. Let's just chalk it up to Bobby Kotick ruining stuff in the first place for China, you know? Just blame Bobby. Just blame Bobby. Oh, man. I'm not going to dive into this, but yeah, 10 best Souls-like for gamers on the hunt for a real challenge. Yo, Soup, I'm not including you in this. This wouldn't work for you, but you did finish Demon Souls, right? So maybe, but Elden Ring, dude. Elden Ring, that's what this picture is of. Dude, Elden Ring is a flipping banger. It sucks I had to play it with so many performance issues on PC on release. But I know it's probably much better now. And Elden Ring is a good game. And it's very difficult too. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Dude, I don't even like seeing Jeff Keighley's face anymore. It just makes me want to throw up, dude. He's just such a pawn. He's sold out, dude. Pull this up, though. Summer Games Fest date. I mean, the reason Summer Games Fest is important is because it's virtually taken over, you know, what E3 used to be and all that stuff. So a lot of the... we get a lot of important announcements that come out of Summer Games Fest. It's not just Summer Games Fest that's taking over E3. There are a lot of companies that have decided to just go ahead and do their own showcases and things like that around the same time. But Summer Games Fest is an important one. One second, guys. Sorry about that. I don't dive into gaming Bible stuff, clickbait, all the time, every time. What is this? What is that? The Yuzu settlement is unsettling for games preservation. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what that is, but we'll take a look at it. Yuzu settlement is unsettling for games preservation. Yeah, the thing that sucked is we've talked a bit about where Yuzu went wrong. Yuzu went wrong because, you know, even as much as their aim might have been in large part towards just providing good emulation services, Lots of times you need to be careful about separating yourself from the providing the emulation services for the hardware, as well as, you know, setting yourself apart from. I mean, you can provide resources where people can get like the ROMs, if you will, the game files and stuff, but straight up downloading them and this is the thing, they really set themselves up for failure because they were actually providing easy ways for people to pirate stuff, along with providing payment for it and everything to it. That's what it looks like. So there's always going to be something to be said for preserving video gaming history through games preservation. Unfortunately, this has created a bit of a domino effect here, where other emulators for Nintendo products have started shutting down. That sucks. There's a lot of gray area to dive into here. I haven't taken a deep enough look at the Yuzu situation to know definitively exactly what all happened here, but I've taken a bit of a look, and thanks in part on from Soup, you know, for help with that. But it does look like Yuzu kind of set themselves up for failure in some capacities there. The thing that a lot of these companies or organizations that want to dive into the emulation side of things have to understand is that, you know, if you're just doing it to preserve video gaming history and you're only focusing on maybe the side of hardware and software that is no longer available for people to access because Nintendo's really bad about shutting that stuff down, you're probably going to be much more likely to not have to incur any kind of lawsuits or anything on the part of Nintendo coming at you, right? But if you're doing something more along the lines of what Yuzu had done there, where they're actually emulating modern hardware and modern software, things like that, you've got to know who Nintendo is, and you've got to know what Nintendo does. And you've got to prepare for the fact that Nintendo's going to come at you full speed ahead. And you're probably going to get wrecked because Nintendo's huge and they've got tons of lawyers, and you're probably going to end up in the same situation that Yuzu has and so many others have in the past. So it's a great thing for preserving video gaming history, but if you're going to try and overstep those boundaries of emulating modern hardware and software, which, let's be very, very clear here, that is in large part going to get most people into pirating Nintendo's products, Nintendo's going to get you sooner or later, and it's probably usually sooner. Nintendo's really quick about it. So again, it's not just a black and white kind of area to address and tackle. There's a lot of gray area, but we talk about it a lot. Your birthday on Tuesday, bruh? 27, dang, dude. You flipping probably got big old gray beard by now, right? I'm just playing, bro. 27. I like that number. Yo. Nice, dude. Nice. Yo. Wait. What? Interesting. Well, how about that, dude? 27. Well, you'll have to come remind us, dude, on your birthday so we can all sing you happy birthday, Tinwin, you legend. Yeah, man. Yeah. Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday. That's awesome, dude. You got any plans for it? You got any plans for the birthday, dude? PS Plus free games for premium and extra subscribers in March announced. And out soon. Let's take a look at that. Not really. Play some video games. Oh, dude, you should do something for yourself, man. Nice ripe old age of 27, dude. It's a good age, man. It's a good age. We got that up. We got that up. Yeah, this is so weird, dude. We've talked about this. The smell-o-vision for gaming. This is a weird one. It's got like you know, a lot of different kinds of scents that it's supposed to pop off. It's supposed to be AI controlled, so it hooks up to your gaming systems and stuff. And I mean, it's got like fresh cut grass. It's got gunfire. It's even got blood scent in there. Like, there's some weird ones, dude. Weird ones. All sewer levels become, yeah, bro. That's what I was telling. I was like, bro, I probably would never grab, because somebody's gonna hack me and just start popping off fart scents all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's super weird. But I mean, one of the things that we talk about sometimes is the immersion part of like where we're headed with virtual reality and stuff like that. It's not the rest of our senses are what's kind of lacking on the front of full immersion, right? Full immersion we need haptics, we need the rest of our senses, you know, like smell and taste and everything incorporated into the VR part. I mean, basically we'll be really embarking upon like Matrix kind of stuff at that point, right? When everything else, all the rest of our senses can be incorporated into the virtual aspect of throwing us into these environments, you know, that's when stuff gets really crazy. Because I mean, honestly, you look at where like Unreal Engine 5 has gotten us now. Yeah, you look at games like Unrecord and how realistic it looks. It's really gnarly, man. It's virtually undistinguishable from what real life is, you know, unless you're really nitpicking stuff. But you know, if you're just playing the game and everything at full speed, then it's virtually negligible. And so the visual part of things are really quickly getting there, and so it's the other parts of our senses that have to be incorporated. But they've been working on that stuff for a long time, right? Many different technological organizations have been working on the other parts, the haptics, the different sensory incorporations to virtual environments and stuff. And I don't think it's that far away, man. I really don't. This is the beginning of it, you know. It's only like $150. Now, here's the thing. I think it's going to be a lot like a printer. You guys know how printers work, right? Like, so you buy a printer, dude. You buy a printer. It comes with like the black ink, the cyan ink, the magenta ink, you know, and like the yellow, and then it's like one of those ink cartridges runs out. You buy that printer for like $100. One of those ink cartridges runs out. One of the ink cartridges costs like $300. You know what I mean? I think that's where they're gonna get you out with this thing, you know, because it's like $150. But then one of the smell cartridges runs out, and it's like, oh well, that's gonna be $300, you know, for one cartridge. You're like, God dang. That's probably how that's gonna work. We got the PS Plus stuff up. Yeah, looks like you're getting some Midnight Suns, man. We'll read about it. Dune Imperium goes from tabletop to video game. Let's take a look at that. 20 hardest games for Super Nintendo. Man, Man, what was one of the harder Super Nintendo games that I played? Can't even think off the top of my head. Actually, you know what? Let's go with the PlayStation Plus game catalog. Finished CV3 and Bloodlines. Yay! Taking time. Nice, dude. It's not saying. Whatever, dude. You're such a liar. You were playing flipping Supermarket Simulator. Don't give me that crap. You stop it. You put on a good face there, buddy, but we know better. Let's rock this one. I like Insider Gaming. We'll rock that for the PlayStation stuff. Bending all the rules in this game. Hey, I don't care how long you played it, you played it. You trying to tell me if it's not a $70 game, I don't want it. And then you go, I only played it for a while. Bro. We've talked about the SAG-AFTRA stuff already. God dang, dude. Eat dust, McChicken. Oh, bro. You're wild, dog. Yo, Soup, you're growing that mustache out, right, dude? Oh my god. Big RPG video game gets new anime with impressive rollout. What is this? Blue Archive. Blue Archive, huh? I've never played it. Flippin' Soup, dude. Oh, jeez, dog. I didn't even know they had a Binding of Isaac card game. That's cool. Yo, get wrecked Unity, dude. Epic confirms its new Unreal Engine pricing, keeps its promise to not change it for game developers. Nice. GTA will be the most important thing to ever release in 2036. Warhammer Age of Sigmar 4th edition. This is just going to be, though, yeah, not video game stuff. That's just their... Cool. By the way, the 2036 thing is just a troll for Soup, for anybody that's going to be watching this or seeing this now or later. We know about that. Wait, do we? Tomb Raider Collection gets big upgrade for PS5. Let's see what they're talking about there. Yeah, Warner Brothers has ordered Adult Swim to delist all their video games. Yep. We saw this coming, dude. We saw this coming. So all our games are going to be inaccessible starting in May. I'm not going to dive any more into this. It feels bad. All these developers that have had their games, you know, on this platform, they're and the thing that sucks is Warner Brothers is basically going, we're not going to help you guys. We're not going to help you at all. We're not going to help you put your games on like Steam. We're not going to help you do anything. So get wrecked. That's the thing that sucks about this. So, when apparently it's a pretty easy process, Warner Brothers just does not give a crap. Doesn't give a crap. You know, which doesn't really surprise me coming out of Warner Brothers, right? Whoa! Sea of Stars hits 5 million players. New co-op mode revealed. Y'all want to play Sea of Stars? Interesting. Yo, the whole Baldur's Gate 3. Look, I've got an article up. Garbage game? Give me a break, dude. Baldur's Gate is an amazing game. You're out of your mind. You're out of your flippin' mind. Here, I've got some new articles on YouTube from last night, guys. Over the past couple of weeks, I'd slacked a little bit about getting some of our more important articles up on YouTube, and I was finally able to get a good amount of them up on YouTube last night. So here's one about that we covered here recently about Larian and getting a bunch of threats and toxicity coming towards their developers, which is unacceptable. So if you guys didn't see that, take a look at this YouTube video we have on our site, man. It's just so gross to see. I mean, I think it just goes to show that there's a small percentage of, I hate to even consider these people as one of us, but unfortunately you kind of have to. There's a small percentage of people that are in the collective of gaming enthusiasts that have, for one reason or another, found themselves to be of the prerogative to take it upon themselves to threaten other people, even good developers. And it's disgusting. So this, I think, shows you that it doesn't matter what developer it is, none of them are immune to it. It's disgusting. It's unacceptable. It should never happen. And if Larian and their developers behind Baldur's Gate 3 are even getting threats and toxic, kinds of feedback from community members and stuff, nobody's immune. Nobody's immune to it. Absolutely. And that's disgusting. It sucks. It should never happen. It should never happen anyways. It doesn't matter what developer it is. The way that you show disdain, the way that you show that you are upset with a developer is not by threatening them. It's by not supporting them. That's how you do it. And it's just disgusting to see it. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, check that link out that I put in chat. What are you saying? Well, and so to be fair, look, not everybody's going to love every game, I understand that. That's fine. I very, very much respect the fact that everybody has their own respective and their own respective ideas about what is appealing to them entertainment wise, and especially in the video gaming industry, right? For entertainment, we all have things that appeal to us. I play just about everything. A lot of other people have specific genres of games. And that's okay, dude. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to, love a game just because everybody else loved a game. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what makes us great as human beings. The fact that we have differences. A lot of people like to, put each other down or, throw shade at each other because, people don't feel or think the same way they do. That's the wrong way to approach that situation. We should actually, appreciate the fact that we have differences. That's what this community is about. As long as you're good people, that's all that matters. It doesn't mean we're not going to have differences. It's about being civil about it, right? And that's okay. That's okay. What's that, Soup? Hey, McChickens, dude. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the game was, you know, for what it was, you know, they absolutely did deserve what they got out of it, and I appreciate the fact that you see that, you know. Yeah. Take a guess what makes us great as human beings. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I figured you're gonna say something about GTA. You're so wild, bro. You're so wild. We've got the Summer Games Fest stuff up. We'll take a look at when it's happening. It's probably gonna be around like June 8th. That's usually when it takes place, around June 8th. You can usually bank on that fact. Yo, hey dude, I've got an article for that too. Here, Doug. Here. There you go. There you go, my dude. Yeah. The rock star getting crunched. There you go, dude. Yeah. Four hours of Delta Force Hawk Ops gameplay ahead of its release? Interesting. Soup, that's gross. Don't say that, dude. I know you're trolling. Don't say that, though. Dude. Oh, that feels so bad. I don't know if Modern Warfare 3 has prop hunt, but I'll tell you what it does have. A bunch of crap gameplay. No, dude, none. No crunches, dude. No crunchies, dude. Everybody wins? No, that's not. I don't care. You waited a decade for this? No, you didn't, dude. You weren't waiting a decade for this. A decade ago, dude, you were so immersed in GTA 5 that you weren't even thinking about GTA 6. Don't listen. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, dude. Enshrouded's getting a huge roadmap for 2024. We'll take a peek at that. V Rising. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, cool. So, this is what, shout out to our buddy Tinwin. Yep. With that big old 27th birthday coming up, dude, on Tuesday. Tinwin gave us this info basically last night or yesterday, and we'll hit on that. Hey, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is getting 3 free updates and story DLC. Interesting. Nice, dude. I think this is one of the better things that Ubi has come out with over the past few years, dude, for sure. That's cool. Dude, we got a lot of articles. Let's stick with this stuff. Stick with this. Power World dead? No. Oh, no. No. You wish, buddy. Power World is alive and kicking Pokemon's butt. Yeah. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is getting 3 free updates and story DLC, baby. We're going streaking! Throw the quad to the gymnasium. Come on, let's go. Come on, everybody. What's up, True? Yo, you guys were cracking me up in Discord, dude. I didn't even see that until this morning, but I was dying, dude. Yo, Soup, did you see my reply to your last message in Discord? In the tavern? Yo, by the way, True, I loved your Christmas story window opening. That was fantastic. That was funny. You guys were killing me, dude. You guys were cracking me up. Yeah, it was really, really good. I didn't have, oh, dude, I didn't even see that stuff until this morning. Like, whenever I was like, just getting ready to go live on the stream, like, start talking and stuff. And I was like, oh, crap. So I didn't really get to reply, but I wanted to, like, I'll get some reactions put in there on all that stuff. Dying. Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't totally gone over the past 2 days. I do feel really bad, dude. So, you know, the stream went down right in the middle of us starting that gameplay for Unicorn Overlord. And I missed you guys too, just so you know. I always do. But, dude, it was like, what was weird was that, like, my router was showing connectivity, my PC was showing everything, all my devices were showing connectivity, but I couldn't reach the internet. And I was like, oh no, dude, you know? And, so I had to hit up my ISP, and I was having trouble even getting connected with them, dude. And I was like, bro, this is not a good look. So I finally was able to get a hold of them, and they were like, yeah, we've got an area-wide outage, you know, like something went down. And so I was like, all right. So they were like, we'll give you, if you give us your phone number, we'll give you a text whenever everything's back up. And it was like early afternoon that everything kind of kicked back off. Early afternoon, everything started connecting again. But at that point, man, I had gotten, you know, focused on doing some other stuff. And I was also worried. They hadn't texted me yet. So we had started getting connectivity again, but they hadn't texted me and confirmed that everything was fixed. So I was worried that things would keep going maybe up and down occasionally. And I didn't want to try to start up the stream if we were just going to get disconnected again. So I was like, well, I'll just wait, dude, and we'll just go back live on Thursday, you know. It sucked, dude. It sucked. I was really upset. And that's what I was telling Ferret. Ferret was like, because once I wanted to figure out what was going on first before I hit you guys up on Discord to let everybody know what was going on. Ferret was like, man, I was just getting ready to like contact you and see if everything was okay or what was going on. And I was like, dude, it feels like I'm just like destined to not play this game, you know? It's like, first of all, Amazon takes like 4 or 5 days to ship this when it's supposed to be 1 day shipping. Then we finally find a day to play it, you know? And my internet goes out, you know? It's like, what the crap's happening? I mean, I guess at least we got the news in that day, but God, I was so bummed. I was so bummed, dude. Like, my daughter, I stormed out of my room, dude, the stream room, and I was just like sitting in the kitchen. I was like, God, you know, I was like, oh man, upset. You know, my daughter's like, you okay? I was like, yeah, the internet's down, so I had to stop the stream. She like came and hugged me, and she was like, I'm sorry. You know, they know how much I love to do this. You know, yeah, I know. I was upset though, dude. I really was. I was really upset. I hate not doing this. I hate not hanging out with you guys and doing this stuff. So just so you know, I was upset, dude. I was really upset. I wanted to be here, and it sucked not being able to go back live after everything went down. So I was upset, but you know, I just tried to make the most of it. By the way, how are those mustaches going? You know what I'm saying? Look at that bad boy. It's coming in there, boy. That flavor saver. Time to miss you. Yeah, I guess so, right? What are we talking about here? Yeah, it was perfect, True. That flipping reply with Ralphie was perfect, dude. Character looks so good. Yo, let's see this. Is this your Tekken character? This is your Tekken character? Bro, I used to have pants like that. I'm not gonna lie. I used to have dress pants like that, but I'm way too fat for them now. Yeah, they were my favorite dress pants, but now I'm way too fat for them. Yo, yeah, I like this, dude. Yeah. Yeah. It's got like an Austin Powers shirt, you know, as well. That's pretty nice. I can dig it. Good stuff, dude. Yeah. Shaved to death soup. Gross. You gotta grow that mustache. It just looks good. It's getting there. My wife hates it. My wife, dude, she didn't even say anything. I came out from shaving, you know. It's just like so. It's just getting to where it's kind of long. It's kind of getting long. You can like see it, you know. you can see the stash coming in. If you know, here, let's just go here right now, and you can see what I'm doing with it, right? You got it's coming. I'm growing it. I'm growing it down long. You know, I told you guys I would. It's gonna be a dirty mustache, dude. It's gonna be gross looking. Yeah, and I shaved. I shaved. And I walked into the living room, and she just smiled. She was like, "I love you." She didn't say anything, but that, and I knew because I just walked in there and was like smiling, you know, and she just was like, "I love you." She hates it. She hates it so much. She hates it so much. Yeah, yeah. But I told her to. I told her that I was going to be growing a mustache for March. You know, I think she was kind of prepared for it. Yeah, she hates it so much. She really does. That response, yeah, that response definitely lets you know. Yo, check out what I had so my sister-in-law was just down in Florida, dude, and she brought me some. Check this out. I don't even know if it'll focus. Brought me some alligator jerky, dude. It won't focus on it. Camera won't focus, but I got alligator jerky. Yep. Gator jerky, yep. Gator jerky. I like gator a lot, especially in like Cajun food, you know? Cajun food. Ooh, that gator. It's good stuff. It's got to be cooked right, though. All right, let's get back into this. It's good to see you guys. I missed you guys, too. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is getting 3 free updates and story DLC. After the successful launch of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown in January, Ubi has announced the game will be getting 3 free updates along with a paid story DLC this year. The first set of free updates comes on March 20th. That dude, right around the corner. With the game getting new speedrun and permadeath modes, along with new Sargon outfits. Later in the spring comes the second update that features more Sargon outfits, as well as a boss rush mode. The last of the free updates will launch in the summer, known as Divine Trials. This final free update will include new combat, puzzle, and platform challenges for players, as well as new Sargon outfits and amulets. Then later on in 2024 comes the major update to Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, in the form of brand new story DLC. No other details on what the story will be, but more information is promised to be coming soon. In addition to the DLC for the most recent release in the series, Ubi is also continuing work on the remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. No details on when that could be released has been announced. Post-launch roadmap. So you can see it right here. March 24th, Warrior's Path is free. Speedrun, permadeath, and new Sargon outfit. Spring of 2024 as well, Boss Attack is free, Boss Rush, and new Sargon outfits. The summer of 2024 has Divine Trials, which is free, new combat, platform, and puzzle challenges, and amulets and Sargon outfits and more. And then later this year, they're getting new story DLC, which does not say it's free, but more details to come soon. That's kind of cool, dude. That's a good look from Ubi on one of their better products, I think, that has come out in quite some time, to be honest. Interesting. Nice. Respect. Here we go. I'm interested in this quite a bit. It might have been a nice play to not play this yet. Sea of Stars hits 5 million players and a new co-op mode is being revealed. I wanted to get this on the schedule this year at some point. I think it's only about a 30 to 40 hour playthrough. But with multiplayer, I might be able to play this with one of our community members. You know, you were looking at this earlier this year. Maybe we can play it together, True. What do you think? Yeah? In a new press release, developer Sabotage Studio announced that indie darling Sea of Stars has crossed 5 million players. Sea of Stars is a turn-based... no, it's not as good as Final Fantasy 16. It's better. Get wrecked. Because Final Fantasy 16 is not even a Final Fantasy game. Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG that first launched in August 2023, later won Best Indie Game at the Game Awards, even though the Game Awards don't matter because it's a big sham. It won over major competition including Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Viewfinder, and Dredge. I really wish that they would list the Golden Joystick Awards over the Game Awards. The Game Awards is a corporate sham. In celebration of the new player count milestone, Sabotage Studio also revealed an upcoming mode, a new 3-player couch co-op mode. Oh, please tell me that they'll let you remotely do this over Steam, dude. 3-player couch co-op mode is currently in development. We'll have to pay attention to this. Although the devs did not confirm a release window, they did say that more details are set to be released soon. For now, players also got to look at the upcoming mode in a very brief teaser. Let's watch this. Let's see this. Boop. Cool, true. Yeah, we'll see how this ends up. If it's just couch co-op, then obviously that wouldn't work. But hopefully, if they got it hooked up, that looked like a very, very brief look for sure. If they got it hooked up to where you could remote play it, you know, kind of like they do for Rogue Heroes, you can still remote play like kind of like you would with couch co-op and stuff, you know, then that would be very cool, and we'll try to get that hooked up. Sea of Stars didn't just make the massive splash that recent indie games like Palworld have. Palworld reached 25 million players just one month after launching, and it broke a variety of records. However, Sea of Stars is still heaped with praise and maintains very positive Steam reviews well after launch. Players enjoy its retro charm, freedom of movement, and world building. The devs dubbed their new 3-player co-op mode Single Player Plus. In the new mode, each player will engage in traversal and combat with a new co-op timed hits mechanic. This implies that with more players on the screen at once, the devs are encouraging teamwork in Sea of Stars. It sounds like players will need to coordinate their attacks either to land them or increase damage. Sea of Stars is available on PC, Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Also available on Game Pass and PS Plus for some members. Probably depending on your tier. But very cool, man. That's really neat news right there. Really neat news. We'll have to see how it gets implemented. If it's just couch co-op, maybe I'll play it with my kids on stream. If not, we'll see about community member stuff. You don't even know what this game is. Odie, man. Playing with a kid. I need to get a game. The kids were actually wanting to play a game together on stream pretty soon. Actually, they were already wanting to, and I just get caught up in so much stuff releasing all the time. I need to find something to play with them. So we'll probably be looking to do something like that before too long, like on the weekends. Yeah. So probably be trying to work some of that in during like the summertime. Yeah. So I've done some of that stuff with them before. We've played Raft before, and they were talking about wanting to play Raft again. But the fact that we've played a good amount of Raft before together on stream, I would like to find something for us to play together that might be a little bit different and a new experience for all of us. So I'm going to have to talk to the kids and figure out what they might want to play that could maybe be... Raft is great. That's a really, really fun game. Highly recommend if nobody's played Raft. Raft is really fun. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to figure it out. Watch 4 hours of Delta Force Hawk Ops gameplay. So Delta Force Hawk Ops is well into development, and now there's over 4 hours of new gameplay to check out from the upcoming first-person shooter. Footage comes via a Chinese media event that gives a look at various elements of the game. Watching through the video, players get a look at the fast-paced gameplay itself, along with features within the game, such as armory and weapons players will have access to. The game will feature your traditional team-based gameplay in Havoc Warfare, as well as a DMZ Escape from Tarkov-like extraction mode called Hazard Operations. There's also vehicle combat, as shown by helicopter footage in the video around the 1 hour and 45 minute mark. Check out the full video with all the gameplay for yourself below. It's currently in development at Tencent's Timmy Studio Group. Will be a free-to-play title. Though there is no release date just yet, the game will be available for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and mobile devices when it launches. PC, let's go. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm not going to watch any of this right now. We'll go to the 1 hour and 45 minute mark to see the helicopter stuff. What I'll start doing is running this as we take breaks and stuff. So people can get a look at what Delta Force Hawk Ops is. And I'll link it to you guys well, so you can take a look at it, okay? GTA is not for kiddos, no. Especially not the Florida Man version coming out, you know? No. Well, I can tell you for a fact, my wife would not want my kids playing GTA, dude. No way. No way, dude. But let's go to like 1 hour 45 minutes here and see what we got. Well, especially playing online or anything either. Like it's a very adult game, even just in the campaign mode. And then you go online, man, it gets really weird.
这个禁区玩起来就是有一种复古的感觉，很像老三角洲特种部队的感觉。
你又知道了。
哎，我们打开禁区看一下，
来看一下这个，
抛出我们的禁区，
抛出我们的禁区啊，看看
There are no closed captions for
禁区的介绍。
English, but
真的
we're
是
gonna
这
look
种
here.
风格哦。
然后它看起来就是一种非常复古的感觉。然后如果看过我们这个宣传片的玩家，应该会发现这个那个镜头就是先是这个三角洲的大仓，对，然后画面一切就变成了新三角洲的这个画面。
Look at that big gun up there. There's a big like
这张
6 cal
图
turret up
其实
there.
是
Look at that.
三角洲黑鹰坠落那一带一个非常经典的地图。然后这张地图这个它的由来是怎么样的呢？其实是这个在这个我小时候，就是我是三角洲的粉丝啊，然后我小时候在那个时候我们这个去到那个时候我们小时候还要电脑房，不叫网吧，电脑房，对，咱们是电脑房，然后电脑房里面，然后大家是局域网，然后开局域网开始对战，然后对战呢，这个如果你开10把，
There's the chopper, dude.
那可能有9.5把都是这张地图，
都是
Got more of a battlefield
真
feel
的
to
非
it,
常火
doesn't it?
爆。
核心。
它当时在三角洲里面叫 Cracked。然后这张地图，然后在那个我们就反复的去玩这张地图，非常的经典。所以当开始发现，哎呦，我要做三角洲这个游戏的时候，我就非常想把这样一个地图这样一个作品重新带回来给大家，让大家能感受到我们的这些乐趣。
隔了22年啊，这个地图。
对，然后我们管这张地图叫做这个辣椒炒肉。
啊？为什么会有这么一个这么美味的说法？
对，因为这个这个我们
All right, cool. Here, I'll turn on. I'll turn this back on. During the break this morning before we start playing. After we end the news, before we start playing video games. That way, everybody can get another look at what this is. Dude, this is gonna be a free-to-play game. I want to get a look at like what the guns are. If you're like leveling up, it looks like you've got ways to level up the guns, unlock the guns, maybe get no more attachments and stuff. And dude, that I'm all about that. Look at the guns. You know, there's definitely some kind of currency on them. So we'll see what all. I mean, obviously I can't read this. You know what I mean? Oh, for real? True. Yeah. See, I love the fast games. I'm a fan of the fast games. It might feel different if you're playing it yourself as opposed to just watching it, though, also. You know, it just depends. Just depends. You have to be in the mood. I understand that, yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I'm one of those fans of the fast-paced games, so I usually end up liking that quite a bit. But I also understand how... That's like... I've had people get into... try to play Rocket League with me, you know? And they're like, oh, no. With all the physics and the way the camera moves and how fast-paced it is and stuff, they're like, yeah, no, I can't do this, dude. This is like going to make me throw up, you know? Halo was the worst. One time, never again got sick. Really? Interesting. Yeah, so I get it. I understand it. But for me, I like the fast games. I enjoy them. So, and this is going to be a free-to-play game. That's what they just said in the article. And early, it looks pretty good. Alan Wake was not fast. Alan Wake was a slow piece of dookie. They might as well just turn Alan Wake into Call of Duty because it was a piece of duty. Alan Wake 2 was anyways. The first one was fine. Second one was absolutely Call of Alan Wake 2 duty. It was crap. It was crap. All right, but we'll watch some more of this, okay? Enshrouded gets a huge roadmap for 2024. Let's get this music popping again. Let's go. couldn't get into it. That's because the writing was trash, the story was trash, it was weird, it was just, there was no Barry, you know, it was horrible, dude. Enshrouded gets a huge roadmap for 2024. So Enshrouded, one of those indie titles that stormed to success following its release into early access just weeks ago. Open world multiplayer survival game which boasts some innovative elements, hit 1 million players in just 4 days. And at the time of writing, it boasts 38,000 very positive reviews on Steam. This game probably would have done much better had it not released just right after Pal World. But it still did pretty good. Independent developer Keen Games has just released a major update. It showcases everything coming to Enshrouded this year. Looks like a lot. It was made clear that these changes, additions, and amendments are being driven by community feedback. Such a comprehensive list that it seems as though Keen has left absolutely nothing out. Enshrouded Expanded. There is a staggering list of things coming to the game or being changed in the game throughout this year. Here are some of the key shoutouts. Hollow Halls, Dungeons, Steam Deck support, multiple NPC instances, server user rights, replayable quests, animal farming, vanity system, weather system, new biomes, new enemies and bosses. Further down the line, Keen Games plans to make more impactful changes with water instanced dungeons, sharing and visiting of bases, world events. Keen Games was quick to note that further changes could be made to Enshrouded's 2024 roadmap as the year unravels. One thing to note, a roadmap is a living and breathing thing. It will change as we develop the game and things turn out to be harder or easier to implement than we originally thought. So basically what they're saying is they have to remain agile in this process, as things are never going to go quite as planned, right? People have to understand that. But that's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. Another indie studio doing good work, man. Awesome. Nice, guys. Tomb Raider collection gets big upgrade. Yo, don't even start this crap. Don't start this crap. Soup. Do I need to go back to what we were saying before? Let me just bring up some of Soup's messages from earlier this morning. Let's just get into this, okay? From earlier this morning, Soup said, where is this? Oh, he's making it go. Here, I'm gonna have to hold on to it here. If it's not $70, I don't want it. And then I said, oh yeah? What about that supermarket simulator that you were playing? I only played it for a while. Oh, man. No, yes, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, dude. Pull up chat logs, dog. Soup tries to blast on like indie games or anything that's below AAA, you know, but we got you, buddy. We got you. Tomb Raider collection gets a big upgrade. The latest Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered update brings a surprisingly huge feature to PS5 version of the game. Oh, dude. Whoa, look at the dog lion. Holy crap. Look at that used to be Polly Booty right there too. A new update for Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered on PS5 enables support for 120 frames and 4K resolution. Yo, we had a conversation the other day about it's always the more frames the better, you know. And it's funny how many people want to like contrast to this argument. They want to be like, it doesn't really matter. You're out of your mind, dude. Anybody that thinks that frames don't matter, you know, you're crazy. You know, it's always going to be better if a developer can give you a higher frame rate. That's just a fact. If they can give you a higher frame rate and it's stable, it's just going to be better. And I love trying to hear the arguments that people try to push out about, you know, so it's just so stupid to try and, you know, contrast this argument. It's a factual thing. The more frames that you can get into a game, no matter what, at a stable frame rate, the better. It just is. That's all there is to it. The update also includes bug fixes and visual improvements, but lacks platinum trophies. Speculation based on content in the remastered game hints at a possible Tomb Raider 4 remaster in the future. Well, that's cool, man. So, players are now able to enjoy the trio of games at a whopping 120 frames per second and a native 4K resolution. Only on PS5 at the moment. Very neat. So if you've got this on the PS5, you're getting some additional benefits. Very cool. 4K resolution, 120 frames per second. Very good stuff. Awesome, awesome. Big RPG video game gets new anime with impressive rollout. So, Blue Archive, popular video game Blue Archive gets a new teaser for its anime as well as news of its premiere date, which will be leading TV Tokyo's new slot. Anybody ever play this? Blue Archive? Set to premiere on April 7th on TV Tokyo's late Sunday night slot, the anime will be adapting the game's Foreclosure Task Force storyline. Yostar Pictures is involved in the project, meaning that the series will likely have high-quality animation, especially in its fight scenes. TV Tokyo announced that it would broadcast the anime at a new 11:45 p.m. Sunday time slot, which it described as being part of a new anime strategy frame that will be seen by more people. The opportunity to head a new late-night programming block can be seen as a sign of high confidence in Blue Archive's success by either the studio or the broadcaster. Given its popularity with international communities, there's no doubt that there is a large enough built-in audience that would willingly check to see how the anime will depict the video game. Huh. Oh, this is definitely gonna be something for furries, dude. Nice. And anybody that likes 12-year-old looking anime girls. You know who I'm talking to. Anyways, Dune Imperium goes from tabletop to video game, huh? Oh, did you? True? Nice, dude. Have they had any, like, big updates or anything since you played it last? I'm surprised Soup didn't say anything right there. He must have been in the bathroom. So much new stuff? Nice. I'll have to have my daughter maybe jump back into it. Yeah. So it looks like a tabletop or a digital trading card game. Look at this. Interesting. Direwolf has made a bit of a name for themselves as they brought a host of tabletop games kicking and screaming into the digital world, moving into video game form. The latest is that of Dune Imperium. Dune Imperium will see you taking in a blend of strategy and intrigue as you head to Arrakis and enjoy the tabletop board game in digital fashion. Has you making the most of a vast wasteland, utilizing deck building mechanics and placement of units to ensure you come out on top. Each and every decision you make will be key to what unfolds. Battle online, locally with AI, or against the formidable House Haggle. Earn achievements that showcase your prowess as a leader. Embark on more than a dozen challenges that will test your wit and cunning. Compete for badges in rotating skirmish mode where no two games are the same. It is on Xbox One and Series X and S right now. Also find it on PC, iOS, or Android. Interesting. Dune Imperium. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget that it's on the Switch. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even the little bit of time that I played in it felt very good. It's a nice little cozy game for sure. And that's what I mean. I had been prompting people to please play Palia over something like, you know, Disney. The trailer for V Rising, is that what you're asking, Tinwin? Not sure what trailer you're referring to. Yeah, all the V Rising stuff's at the end here, dude. It's right here. It's under my camera, but it's at the end of what we have. We're about 5 articles away. Yep. And I found an article about the full release of the game and stuff too. So I'm going to touch on that. Then we'll do the official release trailer that you sent me, and then we'll look at what the developers said about my issue with the game, you know, that you also sent me. So I've got all that stuff up. So like the last 3 articles are all covering V Rising, dude. Last update, they squashed 250 bugs. Press devs constantly putting out new content for a free. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. You know, I agree. The game felt very good even from the get-go, and that's why I kept prompting people, like, please, if you're interested in something like Disney Dreamlight Valley or whatever, you know, just go play Palia. Don't feed Disney, you know. Don't feed them. They don't deserve it. Go play something like Palia, you know. So that was always what I was trying to get people to do. Palia felt good. I liked it. It's not necessarily my preference of like games to play and stuff, but I was playing it a little bit with my daughter, you know, and I liked it a lot. It was very good, and that's good to hear that they're keeping up with updates and content and stuff like that. It's good. We'll get there in just a moment, Timwin. Yeah, I'm working my way there, buddy. PlayStation Plus game catalog adding 13 new games in March. So as you can see from this, it looks like we've got DC Supervillains Lego, Blood Bowl 3, which apparently is terrible. This game was very, very poorly reviewed on release. It's worked its way up to an all-time review of 44% positive. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot from Blood Bowl 3. I remember that being a big disappointment for a lot of people whenever it released. I think sometime last year. Mystic Pillars, I don't know much about that. NBA 2K24, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Midnight Suns. A lot of these other ones, I know DC Supervillains Lego, Resident Evil 3 Remake, Midnight Suns, very good. Basketball fans will be excited about that. Sony has announced the PlayStation Plus game catalog is set to grow by 13 games in March. 13 games include 8 for PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium subscribers, along with 5 classic games for premium members. Of the games, 2 of the bigger titles include NBA 2K24 Kobe Bryant Edition, as well as the remake of Resident Evil 3. Of the classic games, players will get to experience the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy and the original Cool Borders, among others. You can check out the full list of the new games coming to the service below. All of the games will be available for members starting on March 19th. It's about 5 days from now, guys. So you can see in NBA 2K24, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Resident Evil 3, Lego DC Supervillains, Mystic Pillars Remastered, Blood Bowl 3, Super Neptunia RPG, Drago Ball Z. Drago Balls. Bro, did they do this on purpose? Drago Balls. Oh, jeez, dude. There should be an N in there. So, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. PS Plus Premium Classic Games. Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier. Cool Borders. God's Eater Burst. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. And JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. There you go. If you need that list, I'll link it to you. There you go. Doom developers launch indie AAA game studio with dystopian sci-fi shooter as first title. So 3D Realms, is that who we're talking about? A new independent game studio led by vets of Doom developer ID Software, ID Software, okay, has launched with initial seed funding from Sisu Game Ventures. Named Empty Vessel, the gaming studio will focus on developing AAA video games. First project will be an immersive shooter inspired by film, graphic novels, and games set in dystopian sci-fi worlds. Title is powered by Unreal Engine 5. It's so funny to hear this, right? So, a new independent gaming studio focused on developing AAA games. You know, I mean, if that doesn't tell you how much backing they have, right? Because quite often we assimilate, or we tend to put together indie developers, especially beginning indie developers, with low budget kinds of games, right? Smaller teams, lower budget games. Doesn't mean they're bad games. They just don't have a AAA or a AA kind of budget on them, right? But obviously there are studios like Larian that have gotten very big over time. They're an independent developer and they make AAA games. It's just weird to hear like this. A new independent gaming studio is being set up and they're immediately focusing on developing AAA video games. You know, it's kind of wild. Title is powered by Unreal Engine 5. Austin-based Empty Vessel is led by CEO and game director Emmanuel Palalik and COO and general manager Garrett Young. Both alums of developers both alums of Doom and Quake maker ID Software. They've tapped a team of developers who have worked on franchises including Call of Duty, Last of Us, Borderlands, Tomb Raider, Uncharted, and Callisto Protocol, with employees working remotely worldwide. By the way, if you haven't heard about the Borderlands stuff right now, talking about actually Gearbox, you should take a look at this in chat. There's your link. The company describes itself as a developer-founded, developer-first studio that aims to break from the traditional business models and work together towards a common vision of a future powered by people and creativity where the industry is moved forward by teams of great game makers. Empty Vessel is focused on recruiting AAA-level talent that creates high-quality IPs with more attainable scope. Quote, many game developers like myself began our journey fueled by the dream of one day bringing our worlds to life, Palalik said. By prioritizing and aligning with our strengths, we are confident it's possible to create AAA quality games with smaller focused teams. The industry has often overlooked the people who pour their hearts and souls into crafting these worlds. With Empty Vessel, we're determined to change that narrative and make that dream a reality for as many developers as we can. Our industry is at a crossroads between business and talent. At Empty Vessel, we take a developer-first approach to our direction and execution. I mean, this is what we want as the consumer and gaming enthusiast, you know? We understand every innovation in this industry has been led by a developer taking a risk. Every new IP, every billion-dollar franchise, gaming's next massive hit can come from anywhere. Teaser for the new studio. We'll take a quick peek. Okay. Cool. Well, we'll have to pay attention and see what comes out of Empty Vessel as a new developer there. Google's new AI will play video games with you, but not to win. Google DeepMind trained its video game playing AI agent on games like Valheim, No Man's Sky, and Goat Simulator. Google DeepMind unveiled Sima, an AI agent trained to learn gaming skills so it plays more like a human instead of an overpowered AI, Yeah, this so we'll discuss this after I read this. I wanted to know exactly what they're talking about. Instead of an overpowered AI that does its own thing, Sima, which stands for Scalable Instructable Multi-World Agent, is currently only in research. Sima will eventually learn how to play any video game, even games with no linear path to end the game and open world games. Though it's not intended to replace existing game AI, think of it more as another player that meshes well with your party, mixes a natural language instruction with understanding 3D worlds and image recognition. Sima isn't trained to win a game, it's trained to run it and do what it's told, said Google DeepMind researcher and Sima co-lead Tim Harley during a briefing with reporters. Google worked with 8 game developers, including Hello Games, Embracer, Tuxedo Labs, Coffee Stain, and others to train and test Sima. Researchers plugged Sima into games like No Man's Sky, Teardown, Valheim, and Goat Simulator 3 to teach the AI agent the basics of playing the games. In a blog post, Google said that Sima doesn't need a custom API to play the games or access source codes. Harley said the team chose games that were more focused on open play than narrative to help Sima learn general gaming skills. If you've played or watched a playthrough of Goat Simulator, you'll know that doing random spontaneous things is the point of the game, and Harley said it was the kind of spontaneity that they hoped Sima would learn. To do this, the team first built a new environment in the Unity engine where the agents needed to create sculptures to test their understanding of object manipulation. Then Google recorded pairs of human players, one controlling the game and the other giving instructions on what to do next. To capture language instructions afterwards, players played independently to show what led their actions in the game. All of this was fed to Sima agents to learn to predict what would happen next on the screen. Sima has about 600 basic skills, such as turning left, climbing a ladder, and opening the menu to use a map. Eventually, Harley said, Sima can be instructed to do more complex functions within a game. Tasks like find resources and build a camp are still difficult because AI agents can't perform actions for humans. Sima isn't meant to be an AI-powered NPC like the ones from NVIDIA and Convai, but another player in a game that impacts the result. Sima project co-lead Frederick Bessie said it's too early to tell what kind of uses AI agents like it could bring to the gaming outside of the research sphere. Like AI NPCs, however, Sima may eventually learn to talk, but it's far from that. Sima is still learning how to play games and adapt to ones it hasn't played before. Google said that with more advanced AI models, Sima may eventually be able to do more complex tasks and be the perfect AI party member to lead you to victory. Here's the thing. I can see its applications. And I'll tell you why. How many times have you played a game where you're supposed to have a companion as a part of the gameplay that was total balls? And I'll give you a perfect example of a game that I played here recently where the companion's AI was terrible, and that was Nightingale. Nightingale's companion system was broken ass trash. It was terrible. It was a game that you were supposed to have a huge focus on your companion system, and the companion sucked. It was terrible. So I can see the applications for something that is better for incorporating a more intuitive, seamless, better mechanical and operating version of AI like controlled companions in games, right? But at the same time, you know, and I know like the way this comes, like I don't want to just play a game personally and incorporate like another player in the game and be like, yo, make it an AI and have this AI play along with me. I don't personally want that. You know what I mean? So if it was like a game that can potentially have multiplayer and you don't have anybody to multiplayer with, and then it's like, oh, well, just put a multiplayer, you know, AI in there. I don't want that. I don't want that. If I'm going to play a multiplayer game, I want to play it with friends. If there's no friends to play it with, I don't want AI in there. I don't want that. So that's the way I feel personally. Other people might feel different, but I do see the applications for this, where there are some very, very terribly incorporated AI-controlled companions, AI-incorporated companions, and this kind of technology could be huge for evolving what the companion systems in many games could be. So I'm fine with that. But this is another thing, especially with what they're talking about right here, right? Is that the companion, the AI should not be outplaying you, right? And that was another thing that, you know, like, the companion system, in my opinion, in games should always be something that you're carrying with you. It's something to assist you, something that is a nice incorporation to your own gameplay. It's not something that you should be following. It's not something that should be carrying you, right? So there's a very fine line here about how this AI should not be too good, right? So it should be very intuitive and seamless and help you in many, many ways, but it's about helping you. You should be carrying the companion through the game with you, not vice versa. That's not the way this should work. So it's a very, very, you know, slippery slope here about how they need to be sure that this piece of technology doesn't get too good, right? So China's Tencent takes over 2 of the ByteDance video game teams. If you guys remember, not too long ago, we talked about and covered the fact that so ByteDance is TikTok's parent company, right? ByteDance had basically decided to shut down all of their video game division and everything, and it looks like Tencent has moved in and decided to yoink a couple of those, if you will. Hong Kong, March 14th, China's Tencent has taken over 2 ByteDance video game units after ByteDance retreated, from the gaming business last year, according to a person familiar with the matter. The 2 teams Tencent has acquired involve one Shenzhen-based studio working on an action game and another East China-based studio working on an anime game. The person said on condition of anonymity, as the person is not allowed to speak to media. ByteDance and Tencent did not reply to Reuters' request for comment. 2 teams have recently formed a new Shenzhen-based company named Salusi, which is now 100% owned by a Tencent investment company, according to company database Quixin.com. Reuters reported in January that ByteDance was in talks with multiple prospective buyers of its gaming assets, including Tencent. ByteDance pulled the plug on majority of its video gaming business last November, like I was just talking about, 5 years after beginning its high-profile foray into the $185 billion global video games market. Yeah. Interesting. Well, maybe we'll find out here pretty quick now what these titles are that Tencent has taken over. Tencent's massive, dude. It's crazy. Summer Games Fest 2024 date and live stream details officially announced. Yep. So I'll just start this off by noting how disgusted I am with Jeff Keighley nowadays. He's disgusting. I don't about anything that he does anymore. Just seems like an absolute industry ruse. He's been bought off, dude. And the identifier for all of this really for me was this past year's Game Awards, and it's gotten worse and worse as we've moved on. But if you remember, in years past, Jeff Keighley used to at least be puppet on strings, exactly. He used to be at least a little bit concerned with pointing out some of the more horrible trends that would happen in the industry over the years and stuff like that, and he won't talk about any of it anymore. He's been bought, dude. He's a puppet on industry strings now, is what he is. And I hate to even be a part of watching anything that he has to do with. The thing that sucks is that you almost have to, because there's so many big announcements that come out of his showcases and stuff. If you guys remember, we used to have the E3 stuff every year. It was a big live conference for technology and gaming, and then around the pandemic that shut down. They have never been able to get it going again. It's finally totally shut down. They kept saying, well, we'll be back next year. We'll be back next year. But what happened was Summer Games Fest, along with all these other major video gaming companies deciding that they could do their own, virtual showcases. They didn't need E3 anymore, right? And so that's where we are. And all this stuff pops off in the end of the first week through the second week of June, basically, is when the meat of it happens. And so Summer Games Fest will happen in probably the 7th or 8th of June, 7th to the 9th of June, something like that. We'll have a lot of other showcases around that time. That's when we really start finding out more about what we'll get through the rest of this year. Yeah. So it's a big thing that all of us in the gaming industry, anybody that's immersed themselves in the gaming industry, we look forward to this time every year because we find out so much more about what's to come, right? And it's obviously this is one of the things that we always find out about first, because it feels like Summer Games Fest is something that all the other showcases look to find out the date of before they set their dates. But it's it is something that definitely we need to pay attention to. We will watch it live here in the channel. It gives us a lot of information about more information about games that we need to know about, as well as announcements of new titles that we didn't necessarily know very much about, things of that nature. And it's important, but it just, God always leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth now to watch anything that has to do with Jeff Keighley anymore. It's so disgusting. But let's get in here. It's changed so much. Yeah, you're right. Summer Games Fest 2024 date and other info has finally been revealed. Jeff Keighley's Summer Gaming Showcase kicks off with a live stream on June 7th. Like I said, it's usually somewhere between the 7th and the 9th. It'll be at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, so 4 o'clock our time, my time, and 10 p.m. GMT. That will feature new video game announcements, first looks, and trailers. Yeah, it'll be broadcast live on their YouTube channel, their Twitch channel, all that stuff. They have public tickets you can get if you want to go to it and attend. What a flippin' tool bag. Jesus Christ. It's so disgusting, dude. It makes me just want to vomit, man. Yeah, like I said, all of this stuff has really replaced E3. E3 didn't happen this would be like the 5th year in a row now, I think. And Summer Games Fest, along with all the other showcases that these major industry companies have decided that they could do on their own, have replaced E3, right? Major companies are going to be announcing things, this June, whether it be at Summer's Game Fest or their own showcases at the, around the same time. A lot of showcases will happen right after Summer Games Fest as well. Yo, it's random mode time. Let's go. So you're talking about like Nintendo, Sony, Ubi, Capcom. I mean, you name it. All the big companies, right? Xbox, all of it. So that's really what we need to take away here. It's going to be on June 7th. And we'll watch it live here in the channel. Hey, yo, look at you Chadge. Yo, is that not like almost the same emote? Look at like the one that actually Stream Elements got, the Vizlod, and then the one I got. One's just a picture, one was just created, right? Basically the same face though. So everybody get ready to look forward to seeing more Jeff Keighley's ridiculousness. What is this? Totally the same, right? Yeah. Static Dress released a Rogue Carpet Disaster video game. This project was 3 years in the making, fully playable version of the album's universe, complete with an 8-bit version of the music. Needed any more proof that Static Dress and visionary band architect Ollie Appleyard are ahead of the curve? This might be it. Last week, Static Dress introduced a universe created by their opus, Rogue Carpet Disaster, as a fully playable video game. Rogue Carpet Disaster, the video game, is a project that Appleyard explains was 3 years in the work and is now available via Game Boy Color as well as the Game Boy Advance and SPX models. Interesting. In terms of the player experience, the game creates various challenges that all coincide with the album's original storyline. The multi-level game, it said, frame the final exploration of the complex visual lore. It includes a full 8-bit recreation of the music as players navigate gameplay. You can see that. That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild, dude. I love it. Like they took their album and just turned it into like an old Game Boy game. That's awesome. Yeah. A little bit of some boobas in there, huh? Yep. Okay, dude. Thank you, Soup, for this one, man. Thank you. Looks like Dragon's Dogma 2's preload is live on Xbox, and it's mercifully small. Yo, did you see me put that in Discord? Did you see the clips? Yeah, you must have. I think you did. Yeah. Oh, dude. I don't think Syke's seen it yet, though. Yeah, we had some pretty good clips over the past week. We always do. Yeah. Yeah, that was funny, dude. That was funny. So I think here's the thing. We talk about this a lot. Like, look, Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be a big game. Content-wise, it's going to be a big game, right? That'll be 69 gigabytes, please. Right? So the preload is live. This probably won't be the total amount, but that's still, for as big as this game is supposed to be, that's very respectable, you know? Considering. And let's talk about this. So there you go. Nice, Drew. Dragon's Dogma 2's preload is seemingly available on Xbox Series X and S, and it's surprisingly under 70 gigs. User on the Xbox Series X subreddit in Spain has posted that their digital pre-order of Dragon's Dogma 2 is letting them download the full game ahead of launch next week. So the game launches on the 22nd, right? So we're about 8 days away. This isn't a surprise. Preloading is pretty standard these days for bigger games, but Capcom hasn't officially announced a preload date for Dragon's Dogma 2. PSA, public service announcement. Dragon's Dogma 2 preload seems to now be live at 69.94 gigabytes on S and X platforms from Reddit Xbox Series X. Somewhat surprisingly, it looks like Dragon's Dogma 2's base install size is just under 70 gigs. Considering the game hasn't been talked about in terms of its vast scope and scale, with a map size 4 times that of the first Dragon's Dogma. And let's look, I spent 130 hours in the first Dragon's Dogma. This one, they're saying the size of the map alone is 4 times the size of that map. I'm a little shocked Capcom sequel isn't weighing in at closer to 100 gigs. Agreed. I expected this. Dragon's Dogma 2 launches next week on March 22nd, so you've got a good while to go download all 70 gigs of the base game. Not clear when preloads will go live for PS5 and PC players. A search around internet forums far and wide seem to point to Capcom's game not being available for preload on those platforms just yet. Yeah, so if you weren't aware, there is already a Dragon's Dogma 2 character creator demo on all platforms that allows you to go ahead and create your character, and you'll be able to import that character into your gameplay once the full game releases. Okay, now let me say this. There's something to be said for efficient coding. Okay, anybody that's done any kind of coding at all, one of the bases of a good teacher teaching you to code is efficient coding, which eliminates bloat of data. And so sometimes we've gotten these games that come out and you go, good night, that game is taking up a lot of space. You know, that seems kind of ridiculous how much space that game is taking up. 180, 190 gigs, you know, stuff like that. And it makes me wonder sometimes how good the coding is behind that game. If it's efficiently coded or if it's just been bloat coded, you know? And then you take a look at something like Dragon's Dogma 2, which is looking to be a very, very large game content-wise and asset-wise looks very good, you know? And the preload is at just under 70 gigs. And the flip side makes me go, man, they might be really, really efficient coders, the team behind this game. You know, who knows? Who knows? But it does make me wonder. And I think that people need to be aware that this is not, you know, the 70 gigs is not going to be the final size of this game. That's the core of the preload. You know, that's the preload. So that's the core of the game. But there's going to be more once the game releases to put with that. And, you know, you need to expect the game to jump up a little bit from that 70 gigs. But that's the core of it. That's the core of it. So that's pretty interesting. All right, the last thing we have to talk about today is V Rising's full release. Our buddy Tinwin had made me aware that this was happening. So he's got a couple of videos up here for us to talk about, as well as I found an article this morning, which is this one we'll talk about first. Before I get into any of this, I will say that V Rising is a very, very good game. I enjoyed it immensely. It suffers, in my opinion, from one of the more glaring quality of life issues that any survival base building, resource intensive, resource gathering games can suffer from. One of the more recent games I played, Nightingale, it also suffered from this quality of life issue, and that is not being able to utilize resources directly from your storage within your home area, your base area, your castle, whatever. It sucks. And True played this game with me. Tinwin played a little bit. He kind of helped us get started. Ferret played a little bit with us, but True and I really kind of played a lot of this game together. And I can tell you, personally for myself, when you talk about these kinds of games, and I'll address kind of the sentiment that I get from a lot of people when I talk about this thing, the more that you have to deal with within your own home base area of constantly having to go to each individual chest, the more resources you're gathering, the further you progress, the more resources you have to deal with. The constant back and forth of, oh, I need to craft this. Let's go to 4 different rooms, to 5 different chests, pull out the exact amount of resources, you know, that I need to craft for this one thing. You know what I mean? The more you have to do that, the more monotonous it gets. It's time consuming. Instead of just going directly to the crafting table and being able to just, the game go, yeah, you've got these resources within your home base area, in your storage, considering it all yours, right? And going, you want to craft this? You've got all the resources? Craft it, right? And so it's a very molding thing when you have to deal with going chest to chest, resource to resource, pulling it all out, then going and making the stuff over and over. The amount of times you have to end up doing that over the course of a playthrough, it piles up really quick. Time and time and time and time and time and time, it adds up and it gets really, really trudgy. It really does. And all that time accumulating is time that you could be spent playing the core of the game, experiencing the gameplay. And the more I have to deal with that kind of stuff in the game, the more reluctant I am to keep playing the game, because that's not the experience I want. I'm not there to play inventory simulator. That's not it for me. I'm there to experience the gameplay, the core gameplay. which resource gathering is part of it. And you're still having to do resource gathering. You're still having to go back and put the resources that you're gathering and creating at your base into your storage and stuff like that. So this, a lot of times I'll get from people, well, maybe they're trying to make it realistic, you know, like you would have to, you know, really take that stuff out of those stores. But most of the time in these games, you're not in a realistic environment either. You're playing in a very, you know, fantasy, sci-fi that usually has to do with some kinds of like, you know, advanced technology or, you know, magical kinds of aspects to things like V Rising has or like Nightingale had, right? And so if people want to try and go, well, you know, maybe they were trying to make it realistic. That doesn't play well with me, man, in most of these scenarios. You also have to know, I think, from a developer standpoint, who you're catering to. A lot of players don't want to be spending mass amounts of time dealing with resource management when they could just be playing the game, you know? And so there are going to be some people that don't mind it as much as myself, but for me, it's a huge amount of time overall that I don't care to spend doing that kind of thing. That's not the gameplay that I'm looking for, you know? What up, Ferret? How you doing, buddy? So with that notion, V Rising is a very good game, but the biggest glaring issue this game had whenever I played it last year was that the resource management aspect of it, the quality of life that should have been there for that, of being able to utilize resources directly out of your storage once they were in your castle, was not there. And it finally got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much. It takes too much time, you know? And so one of the things I've been waiting to see if the developers would do for this game is actually incorporate that. And from what I've understood from Tinwin over the time since I've played the game is that there's been a lot of feedback from the community about this game needing that kind of quality of life, and the developers have yet to incorporate it. We have a video up where they're going to maybe address that a little bit. We're going to watch that. We're going to watch the official... We're talking about the full release of the game and everything. I was really hoping once they got to the full release of the game, they would incorporate it. And as Tinwin and I talked about earlier, I think the best thing that developers can do is I think quality of life for gamers is a huge, huge thing. And I think the very best thing that developers can do is give the gamers options, you know? So in this aspect, if people enjoy the resource management side of things and they want to do it the old school way or whatever, let them have it, you know? But give people the option as a setting to be able to toggle that on and off at the very least, because it's a super molding thing to have to deal with that constantly, in my opinion. And I know a lot of other gamers feel that way too. Quality of life for me is huge. And that's a huge quality of life thing that has been neglected in this type of game and in many other games too. But anytime I play a game that does have it, I'm like, oh God, it feels so good. You know, Pal World had it on early access release. And it was like, God, I love this. It's so nice. You know what I mean? So let's dive into this and see what we have here. Vampire survival game V Rising sinks its teeth into a full-blooded 1.0 release this May. Release date emerges into the light after 2 years in early access. So after 2 years slumbering in the coffin of early access, vampire survival game V Rising is lifting off the lid and rising into a full 1.0 release. Having previously been announced with a somewhat vague Q2 launch window, we now know exactly when V Rising's 1.0 release date will be. May 8th. V Rising has managed to get plenty of blood pumping over its early access run, charming us mere mortals with its well-dressed, smooth-talking combination of survival staples, a gripping harvesting and crafting loop, and steady progression advanced by taking down ever more powerful bosses, Valheim style, in pleasing ability-based combat. 1.0 will make changes to the game's in-game PvP, swapping players' buff, providing castle buildings, shards for wearable buff, granting necklaces that other players might try their chances at stealing, but by putting a stake through you. The helpful effects of those necklaces will also wear down over time like a battery-operated watch before needing to be recharged in an incoming frosty new area. Other changes will rework armor and weapons with a new top-tier gear to pursue, along with greater specialization across the game's Brute, Warrior, Rogue, and Scholar classes at every level of equipment. There will be options to impress your would-be allies and foes by altering the color of your clothes too, which should look nicer thanks to some underlying improvements to V-Rising's engine. Interesting. Resulting in better lighting and smoother performance. Let's watch this. This is the trailer I have up here too, but let's just watch this. Yeah, fair. No worries, buddy. Let's turn off this music.
For centuries, our castles lay forgotten in ruin. Our kind hidden in darkness. Until now. We will rise from the shadows. Their blood will become our power. Vampires will conquer the night. And all who oppose us. You who dare challenge my rule, defy my reign, and face devastation. Know my name. Fear my wrath.
Oh, that's dope.
For I am Dracula.
Yo, sick. That was a cool trailer, man. I like that. Nice, dude. Again, look, this game is a banger. It's really good. I mean, it was just, it got, there's so many resources, dude. So many resources in the game that's why, you know, I just got to a point where it was like, God, it felt like I was spending so much time just dealing with resources and not actually being able to just enjoy going out and playing the game and stuff. And I just couldn't do it anymore, you know? And I think it's unfortunate that for me, and I know that I can't be the only one, you know, something like that, the lack of quality of life there in what that provides overrides how you're able to enjoy so much there is to enjoy about the game, you know. So, developers Stunlock have promised that 1.0 won't be the end of the road for V-Rising, saying we want you to understand that complete does not mean ending the game's development. Our journey with V-Rising continues as long as our players keep returning hungry for more. Expect that hunger to sustain for a good while. 1.0 about to hit. Now's not a bad time to try your first bite if you're new. The game is very good. It is very, very good. And I really, really immensely enjoyed my time in it. I did. Now, what we're going to do is apparently right here is where the developers have had a bit of a like an hour-long interview, and they talk about maybe this quality of life stuff that I've had an issue with. So let's take a bit of a look here and see what they're saying.
Chests without ever having to open them individually, or stations pulling from those sort of things. Like, what are there any ideas that you guys are toying around with improving that system?
Compulsively counting an AoE is an interesting one, but
that you guys are toying around with improving that system.
Compulsively counting an AoE is an interesting one, but this has been like a pretty commonly asked suggestion. I've seen this all over the place.
Mhm.
But one thing that kind of concerns us about the specifically like the being able to craft from chests is that we're kind of worried it takes out the sort of organization mini game that comes with survival games. I know like not everybody likes it, but it feels like an important staple of it, and there's a certain satisfaction to going in and having all your stuff clean and like
So I'm going to pause that real quick, and I'm just going to say something. The organization minigame doesn't die with being able to use resources out of your chests for crafting, because you're still going out and gathering resources all the time, right? You're still creating resources in, you've got different kinds of crafting tables and stuff that are breaking resources down. You're gathering those, you're putting those resources into chests. There's all kinds of resource management that's still happening. So I don't buy that notion. It's hard for me to accept that as something of you're still having to do resource management in this mini game that they're talking about, right? You're going out anytime you go out and do exploring in the world, or you're going out and you're going after a boss or whatever, you're still coming back with tons of loot that you're having to manage in your inventory system of your chests or whatever at your base system. So it's not like it's gone. It's not like that premise or that notion of having to still do inventory management is eliminated. That's not it. It's just making it more seamless and intuitive for you with your crafting part of the game.
like in important places, so you know where to go get stuff, and you have chests set up where you want them to like set up with your like personal workflow of like how you grab stuff and then put them together. Like there is a certain satisfaction that comes with that, and a lot of people do actually really like it. And also
Yeah,
we like
Cody loves it, right?
I mean, I'm a base guy by build. I will say, it sounds like this is a conscious decision. It wasn't like an omission of
Yeah.
technical thing. It sounds like you guys
Right.
wanted.
And I respect that as well. So let me say something. I also respect the decision of a developer's vision of what a game is and should be. Okay. So, whether you want to talk about a Soulsborne game not having difficulty settings, that's their vision for their piece of art. You know what I mean? I understand that. But I also think you have to understand a little bit who you're catering to here as your consumer base and your player base for games. And you can't expect everybody that plays your game to be this is a very, very split kind of thing here. There are some people that are fine with this notion of just spending mass amounts of time dealing with inventory management, and there are people like me that don't. I don't care for it at all. And so I think that you have to understand that there's going to be, and maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care to cater to the people that don't care as much for it. And I guess that just is what it is. But if they want to appeal to more people playing the game and potentially have more people continuing to play the game, where people that feel like me and hate how much time you have to spend playing what they refer to as a mini game, I don't look at it as a mini game. I have fun playing mini games. To me, that's not a mini game, dude. I think that they need to look at what Tim Wynn and I were talking about earlier, where it's a toggle system, But if this is just something that they're, really, really adamant about being part of their vision of what the game should be like, then it might not change. And therefore, I won't play the game again, And that's just what it is.
The mini game to be present.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
just
not a
like,
mini
it sounds
game to
really
me.
unappealing to like.
And I know it
thinking
isn't
about
to a lot
playing
of
this
other people,
game,
too.
To being able to walk in and you have just a bunch of unnamed random chests in your room, and you just go in and one by one you just dump all of your crap into each chest, without even thinking about like where you're putting them. And then you go to your crafting station, you just like give me my materials from whatever chest I dumped it in. Like it feels pretty uncool. Like it feels like mindless and kind of boring. So we want it to be like a conscious thing you do, and you can be proud of.
I'm gonna push back on that just a touch. I'm gonna be
Go
a little
for it.
confrontational, but not really.
Hit me, dude.
You know, as you update the game, though, you're gonna be adding more things, right? Gloomrod introduced X amount of new resources, which you have to.
And this is one of the things I was talking about before, right? So when I played this game, was it last year? I think last year. It was around a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. It had a massive amount of resources in it already, and I know there's even more now. And I think that's what this individual is about to hit on, and that's where I had a big issue, is that it's so much.
Factor into your base management. You know, you have more crafting stations, more chests that need to support the new resources that you put into the game. So you talk about something that's mindless and not necessarily fun. There's a line there, right, that you have to be conscious of crossing. Because there's still only one of you, but now there's exponentially more things within the base management minigame.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is, like, that is also something we're conscious of when we're adding more stuff, right? Like, in the future, when we add, like, more things to the base, we're going to be thinking about, like, is this too many things to organize? Like, are we adding too much? Is there a point in the progression where maybe we should combine some things? You know? Or is there a way we can make this easier in other ways without eliminating the whole minigame thing of it? So that's something we could also approach in other ways without, like, completely changing the way you, like, organize stuff in your base.
For sure.
That's fair. I think along the same lines, right? There's a quality of life feature that does seem to be missing from the game. And I personally experience this as a pain point. Cody does. I know hundreds of other people do. The ability to split stacks by a specific number or take a single item from a stack.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking to connect with you as a person here.
Oh no, we're getting deep.
I want this so bad as well. Today I'm sitting in my base.
So we'll just stop there. But I think you know, obviously, you know, I'm not totally blind to the fact that what you know, the developers behind these games, these are their passion, right? And this is their art. This is their art. And I respect the crap out of that. I really do. You know, when they've made these beautiful, amazing pieces of content for us to immerse ourselves in, be a part of, and you know, what I'm always looking to do is provide feedback on what my own personal preference and experience is, and not everybody's going to agree with that, and that's okay. You know, but I do have a great focus on what developers do for us as a whole in the video gaming world, video gaming industry. I try to do my very best to pay attention to what they do as far as details are concerned and quality of life is concerned. Those two things go a very, very long way for us as video game players. And the fact of the matter is, not all of us have the same kind of preference. Not all of us have the same kinds of things that we enjoy, you know. And I think this is something that has a lot of people split. So while this might be something that this individual, being a developer of the game, sees as a mini game, you know, the resource management side of things as a mini game, a lot of people don't. And I think that, as I talk about quite often, and as Tinwin brought up earlier today when we were talking about this, options for people to suit their preferences better, as long as it's something that's not going to greatly affect the differences in gameplay that people are going to have, giving people advantages over one another and things like that. I think that the best thing you can do is provide people options. Give them a toggle option in the settings. How do you want to manage your inventory? Do you want to do it as a so-called mini game, or do you want the quality of life option to be able to utilize resources directly out of your storage? You know, I think that's the best way they could address this. I really do. But again, I mean, it's really up to the developers and how they want to push forward with it, you know. Overall, this game's a banger. It's very, very good. I highly recommend it. I got a lot of game time. How much game time did we put in this game, True? I know we had to be fairly close to each other, right? We put like 60, I thought it was about 60-something hours, 66 hours into it, and it was a lot of fun. But I am definitely at the point, I think, where, you know, and I've said this many times before, as good as the game is, it's very, 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 very resource heavy. This game is very resource heavy. And even back whenever I played it, it felt like it was getting very trudgy. There was plenty of content still to play. Plenty of content, so I could have gone way beyond 66 hours for sure. But I can tell you, probably a good 7 to 10 hours of that 66 hours was already spent just doing inventory management. And that's not the kind of mini game I want. So therefore, it didn't make sense for me to continue playing the game and wasting that amount of time playing a game where the mini game is not something I consider a mini game, right? And so, unless they give the option to not have to deal with that moving forward, I probably won't play the game again. It's just not there for me. I don't like that. And so, I highly recommend people check the game out, because overall it's a fantastic experience. And I would love to play the game in a multiplayer environment too, PvP and stuff like that. The game could be very, very fun. But I just don't want to do it with all that resource crap. I just don't want to do it. So, that's where I am at with it. It's still a huge recommend for me. The game's very, very fun. And especially if you don't have an issue dealing with resource management long term, you know, then you should definitely check this game out. It's very, very good. That's it, though. It's good to be back. Hopefully no issues interrupting what we're doing today like we had on Tuesday. And we'll get our first day in of Unicorn Overlord, man. Dragon's Dogma 2 starts on the 22nd, everybody. That's coming up very, very soon. Actually, next Friday. Not this coming Friday, but next Friday. Dragon's Dogma 2 starts. Shout out to everybody that shot me articles today. Tinwin, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it very much, dude. Tinwin's birthday is on Tuesday, by the way, guys. And so, you know, we got to remember to say happy birthday to Tinwin in our Discord. And Tinwin, you need to come see us. Make sure that you're hopping into chat on Tuesday so we can give you a happy birthday salute, my friend. And also to Soup. Soup gave me some articles this morning too. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it very much. We're gonna move on. We're gonna play Unicorn Overlord today. Yeah. So if anybody's been able to come hang out today, check out what we're doing right now. This is the way we start out all of our streams, or if maybe even you're watching this as a VOD later on. We always begin our streams with video gaming news. We're live 6 days a week, every day but Wednesday, which is why we were off yesterday. But we love to dive into everything current going on in the video gaming industry, try and promote a healthier place for all of us as consumers and video gaming enthusiasts, as well as maybe shine a bit of a spotlight on some of the companies that are not doing so well by us also. So if you can dig that, come be a part of the video gaming news segments when we are live and starting up the stream, because it's always nice to have different perspectives of a lot of these kinds of areas that we're addressing regarding the industry. After that, we always move on and play games like we're about to do right now. And we have an amazing community here that obviously video games brings us together. We have a great time, lots of laughs, lots of good times. But there's a legitimate community about being welcoming and accepting of everybody, and just trying to have a good time, spreading good vibes, being void of negativity and toxicity. And if you can dig that, man, and just trying to find good peoples, man. That's what it's about. If you're good peoples, come be a part of what we do. So again, starting off at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT. That would be 7 a.m. Eastern or 4 a.m. Pacific time. Then come check us out, man. Come be a part of the community. We're always looking for more good peoples to be a part of it. So other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. We'll be back with more video gaming news for tomorrow, March 15th. And I'm going to run us an outro real quick. I'm not going anywhere. Just kind of sum up the news segment here. But as soon as it's over, we'll start getting prepared for playing day 1 of Unicorn Overlord. All right? I'll be right back.